The reads from Market Watch columnist Brett Ahrens. We've got also Market Watcher Gary B. Smith, the chart man, and Independent Women's Forum Hadley Heath Manning. Hadley, one of the first things I noticed with China is that I know we have to compartmentalize everything about how they cheat, steal our stuff and all, but if we can, cobble out a trade deal, it'll be well worth it. But man, oh man, taking top Canadian officials, they disappear into the night. We don't know where they are. This makes you think twice about who you're dealing with, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the good news from today's economic numbers out of China is that the tariffs are working, and the bad news is that the tariffs are working.
Yeah.
When we impose tariffs on a trade partner like China, then we're not always able to punish the right parties or put pressure on the right parties, and that's what makes tariffs an imperfect instrument. But I think what you mentioned about these Canadian officials absolutely looks like a tit for tat. I think, we heard the words quite a coincidence earlier. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. And unfortunately, this is not just one headline, but really demonstrates a track record with China where they do not respect rule of law or due process or human rights. And that's something that's going to be very hard to compartmentalize and to keep out of the picture here when we're talking about a trade deal. Yeah,
again, we have to compartmentalize. But Gary B. Smith, I'm reminded of the fact that the very country with whom we want to deal, despite all of this, is in a world of hurt. Now, I'm wondering if that story is lost here, that you're getting so excited, let's say, to buy a new car, right? And then you love this car, and all of a sudden, bad reports come out on the car. You find out that a lot of lemons have been returned. And, you start thinking, wow, that car I always wanted, I might not buy now, right? I'm wondering if we're starting to rethink the value of a China deal itself. I'm making that leap. I know you are too smart to, but what do you make of that we're thinking, hey, China, you're hurting?
All right, well, your first mistake was thinking I'm too smart. Okay, so let's level set for a second.
I'm going with that one.
I will say this. I think in general, maybe I'm in the minority. I don't think a trade deal is going to make a bit of difference one way or the other. I'm going to disagree slightly with Hadley, saying that the trade wars, the tariffs have had an impact. This is a country that has a $12 trillion GDP growing and still growing at over 6% a year. But that growth, I think what everyone's talking about, that growth has been declining since 2010. But the reasons aren't the tariffs. The reasons are it was like us after World War II. They made a gigantic shift from agriculture to manufacturing. They made a gigantic shift, government pumping a lot of resources in. It's natural that their economy would slow down, just as our growth has slowed down after World War II. The tariffs are an incremental part, but $200 billion against a $12 trillion economy growing at 6% a year, it's really not that significant.
All right, these officials are coming out here, but Brett, I want to get your take very quickly before they do about how significant this is.
I think my focus on this is all theater. I think the previous guest was absolutely right when he talks about the questions the relevance or the scale of all this. I mean, we're talking the so-called trade war is very small potatoes in comparison with the size of the economies. We're talking about the size of trade. We're talking about these rests. This is all political theater. The reality is, I mean, to be honest, I think the bigger concern about China has been both the combination of dodgy statistics to the point that I think even one of the previous premiers said, I can't trust the economic statistics of my own country, and the huge debt pile that they have there. So we don't really know what's going on in China. China is and has been.
I'm going to jump on you very briefly so that we can hear from the Secretary of State on whether this is just what you said. Let's listen in.